The feeling you have right now is not random. That heaviness in your chest, the exhaustion you keep hiding behind small smiles, the strange ache that follows you even in quiet moments. You are meant to hear this tonight because something inside you has been carrying too much for too long, and even though nobody fully sees it, I do. You tried to distract yourself from it. You told yourself you were overthinking. You laughed in conversations while your heart quietly begged for rest. You kept showing up for people even while your soul felt neglected. And lately, when the room becomes silent and the noise finally fades, that feeling returns again, stronger, deeper, harder to ignore. Because underneath your tiredness is something you have not fully admitted to yourself yet. You are afraid. Afraid that things may never change. Afraid that the waiting has no purpose. Afraid that you are slowly losing pieces of yourself while trying to survive seasons that nobody prepared you for. And sometimes you wonder if anyone truly understands how exhausting it is to carry invisible battles every single day while pretending to be okay. But I need you to stay here with me for a little while longer tonight, because before you close your eyes, there is something your heart desperately needs to remember. And if you miss it, you will continue blaming yourself for burdens you were never meant to carry alone. You have been calling yourself weak simply because you became tired. But exhaustion is not weakness. Crying quietly in the bathroom is not weakness. Taking deep breaths in the middle of the night because your thoughts will not slow down is not weakness. Checking your phone hoping someone will notice your silence is not weakness. Driving alone with tears in your eyes while pretending you are just thinking is not weakness. You have been surviving emotionally impossible days without giving yourself credit for how hard you have fought just to keep going. And I know there were nights recently when you stared at the ceiling for hours, replaying conversations in your mind, wondering if you ruined everything, wondering why people change, wondering why your heart still hurts from things you never talk about out loud. You tried to move on. You tried to stay positive. You tried to convince yourself that you had healed already. But healing is not linear, and some wounds become quiet before they actually disappear. That is why this feeling keeps returning, not to destroy you, but to reveal what still needs tenderness. Because you have mastered the art of appearing fine while quietly falling apart inside. You answer messages while emotionally drained. You encourage others while secretly needing comfort yourself. You sit in crowded rooms feeling completely alone. And nobody notices the weight you carry because you became too good at hiding pain behind normal conversations. But I noticed the moment your heart started becoming tired of disappointment. Notice when hope began feeling dangerous for you. I noticed when you stopped talking about your dreams because it hurt too much to believe in them again. And even now, part of you is listening carefully while another part is whispering, "What if nothing changes for me?" That question has been haunting you lately. Especially during those quiet late-night moments when your mind drifts toward every fear you never fully healed from. The fear of being abandoned. The fear of being forgotten. Of giving your heart again and ending up wounded all over again. The fear that maybe everyone else is moving forward while you remain stuck in the same emotional storm. And because of those fears, you have started carrying tension everywhere. In your sleep. In your body. In the way you overthink simple things. In the way you apologize too much, in the way you prepare yourself for disappointment before anything even happens. You keep expecting pain because pain became familiar. But hear me carefully tonight, familiarity is not destiny. Just because heartbreak visited your life does not mean heartbreak owns your future. Just because loneliness sat beside you for a season does not mean you were created to remain lonely forever. Just because doors closed does not mean your story is ending in rejection. You are in a transition that your emotions cannot fully understand yet. And transitions are uncomfortable because they often feel like endings before they reveal themselves as beginnings. That is why you feel disconnected lately. That is why old things no longer satisfy you. That is why certain people suddenly feel distant. That is why your spirit feels restless even when you try to ignore it. Something inside you knows you cannot continue living the same way anymore. You were not created merely to survive day after day carrying silent sadness while convincing everyone you are okay. You were not created to abandon yourself trying to earn love from people who only value you when you are useful to them. You were not created to spend your whole life doubting your worth because someone failed to recognize your heart. And still, despite everything, you keep loving, you keep caring, you keep trying, even after disappointment, even after betrayal, even after being left alone in moments when you needed support the most. There is something deeply beautiful about the fact that your heart still wants hope after everything it has survived. Do not ignore that, because the enemy of your peace has been trying to convince you that your sensitivity is a curse, when in reality, it is evidence that your heart was never meant to become cold. Yes, you feel deeply. Yes, you overthink sometimes. Yes, certain words stay with you longer than they should. Yes, you carry memories like unfinished conversations inside your chest. But the same heart that feels pain deeply is also capable of loving deeply, healing deeply, and transforming deeply. You are not broken because you feel emotions intensely. You are human. And lately you have been incredibly hard on yourself. You criticize yourself for not healing fast enough. You compare your journey to people who are hiding struggles you cannot see. You replay mistakes from years ago as if you are still the same person who made them. You punish yourself emotionally for things you have already learned from. Meanwhile, you ignore how much growth has already happened inside you. The old version of you would have completely collapsed under the weight you carry now. But look at you. You are still here, still searching for light, still hoping for peace, still trying to love people without becoming bitter. That matters more than you realize. And I know you are tired, not just physically, soul tired. The kind of tiredness that sleep alone cannot fix. The kind that comes from carrying stress silently for too long. From fighting battles in your mind nobody knows about. From constantly adapting. From constantly surviving. You miss the version of yourself that laughed easier. You miss feeling emotionally safe. You miss waking up without heaviness sitting on your chest. But the reason this message found you tonight is because you are closer to emotional breakthrough than you think. Even now, things are shifting quietly beneath the surface. Not everything broken in your life is meant to stay broken. Not every delay is punishment. Not every silence means abandonment. Some seasons are preparing you emotionally for the very thing you once prayed for. Because if certain blessings arrived earlier, they would have reached a version of you that still tolerated less than you deserved. A version of you that ignored red flags. A version of you that begged for love instead of recognizing your value. A version of you that believed being needed was the same thing as being cherished. But you are changing now, slowly, painfully sometimes, yet beautifully. And although growth feels lonely at times, it is creating emotional strength inside you that no temporary hardship can destroy. I know there are moments when you sit quietly and wonder if your life will ever feel peaceful again. You wonder if your heart will ever stop hurting over what happened. You wonder if you will ever feel emotionally secure instead of constantly anxious about losing people. You will. Not because life suddenly becomes perfect, but because healing will teach you that your peace cannot depend entirely on other people staying. One day you will stop blaming yourself for everyone who walked away. One day you will stop begging internally for closure from people who lack the emotional maturity to give it. One day you will realize that some endings protected you more than they hurt you. But tonight your heart is still tender. Tonight the wounds still ache sometimes. Tonight certain memories still feel heavy when the world gets quiet. And that is okay. Healing does not require you to pretend you no longer hurt. Healing simply means you are learning how to carry your pain without letting it define your identity forever. So when that feeling returns tonight, the one you keep trying to ignore, do not run from it immediately this time. Sit with it gently. Listen to what your soul has been trying to say beneath the noise, because maybe your exhaustion is asking you to rest instead of proving yourself constantly. Maybe your anxiety is revealing how much pressure you have been placing on your own heart. Maybe your loneliness is showing you that you have been emotionally available for everyone except yourself. Maybe your sadness is connected to grief you never allowed yourself to fully process. You keep trying to heal while distracting yourself from the wound. But emotional restoration begins when honesty replaces avoidance. And tonight, honesty sounds like this. You are tired of pretending. Tired of carrying everything alone, tired of feeling emotionally unseen, tired of hoping people will suddenly become who you needed them to be. You wanted consistency, you wanted reassurance, you wanted someone to stay, you wanted to feel chosen without having to earn it constantly. There is nothing weak about wanting love that feels safe. Never be ashamed of your need for tenderness. This world often rewards emotional numbness and calls it strength, but your softness was never your weakness. Your heart simply became bruised from surviving environments that demanded too much from it. And still, despite everything, there remains a quiet light inside you that refuses to die completely. That light is hope. Even after all the disappointment, hope remains. Even after nights of crying silently into your pillow, hope remains. Even after unanswered questions and delayed breakthroughs and emotional confusion, hope remains. That is not accidental, because your story is not ending in this painful chapter. There are moments ahead that your current sadness cannot imagine yet. There are peaceful mornings coming where your chest will no longer feel so heavy. There are conversations that will restore parts of you that heartbreak tried to destroy. There are doors opening that will make certain painful delays finally make sense. There are people who will love you gently instead of confusing you constantly. And one day you will look back at this season and realize you survived things that once convinced you that you would not make it through. But for now, breathe slowly. You do not need to solve your entire future tonight. You do not need every answer immediately. You do not need to carry tomorrow's fears before tomorrow even arrives. Rest your mind for a moment. Release the pressure to have everything figured out. You have spent too long living in survival mode, checking your phone anxiously, overanalyzing silence, preparing emotionally for disappointment, reading into every small change in people's behavior, smiling publicly while privately unraveling. Your nervous system has been exhausted by uncertainty, and I want you to know this clearly before you sleep tonight. You are safe to exhale again. Not every chapter of your life will feel this heavy. Not every relationship will wound you. Not every prayer is being ignored. Not every delay means denial. Some things are still unfolding in ways you cannot see yet. And although you feel forgotten sometimes, you are still being guided through this season, even in moments when everything feels painfully quiet. Especially then, because some of the deepest transformations happen in silence, in hidden healing, in private surrender, in lonely nights where your soul slowly learns how to trust again. You think nothing is happening because there are no dramatic signs, but roots grow in darkness long before fruit appears in daylight. Your life is still growing beneath the surface. So stop measuring your worth by how quickly things happen for other people. Stop believing you are behind simply because your path looks different. Stop punishing yourself for needing time to heal from things that deeply hurt you. You are not late. You are becoming. And becoming often feels uncomfortable before it becomes beautiful. I know there are still tears you have not cried yet. Still conversations replaying in your mind. Still moments that trigger sadness unexpectedly. Still fears that whisper to you when the night becomes quiet. But those fears are not the final truth about your future. The final truth is that you are still here, still breathing, still hoping, still capable of healing, still worthy of love, still deserving of peace. And no amount of heartbreak can erase that. Tonight, before sleep finds you, release the need to carry everything perfectly. Release the belief that you must always appear strong. Release the guilt for emotions you never chose to feel. You do not have to earn rest. You do not have to earn love. You do not have to earn your right to heal. Let your heart soften again. Not toward everyone, but toward yourself. Speak to yourself gently tonight. Your soul has survived enough harshness already. And if your eyes fill with tears while hearing these words, let them fall. Not every tear is weakness. Some tears are released. Some tears are exhaustion leaving the body. Some tears are proof that your heart is finally allowing itself to be honest again. You have carried silent pain long enough. Now let healing begin quietly, slowly, deeply. And as you lie there tonight in the stillness, I want you to remember something your anxiety keeps making you forget. You are not abandoned. You are not forgotten. You are not too damaged to be loved fully. You are not failing because life feels hard right now. This season will not last forever. The heaviness will lift. The confusion will settle. The sleepless nights will not always follow you. The ache inside your chest will not always feel this sharp. Peace is coming back to you little by little, even now, especially now, so close your eyes. Tonight, knowing you are still held through every fear, every question, every hidden wound, and every exhausted thought you could not explain to anyone else. You do not have to carry tomorrow before it arrives. You do not have to keep punishing yourself for being human. You do not have to keep pretending you are okay when your heart is asking for care. Rest now. Breathe now. Heal now. And if this message reached you at the exact moment you needed it, let it remind you that your story is still unfolding in ways your pain cannot yet understand. Your breakthrough did not disappear. Your purpose did not vanish. Your light did not die. It is simply fighting its way back through the darkness, and it will rise again. If this message touched your heart tonight, comment Amen. Subscribe so you never miss these moments of encouragement. And share this with someone who has been carrying silent pain alone, because they may need this reminder more than they know.